All right. So I am recording now. Like I said, we're going to, today, I believe we're going to start looking at methods and breaking our programs down into smaller pieces. So if I share my screen with you, you can see here that we're supposed to read chapter 6. I'd like you guys to get this. You're going to have one, after today, you only have one program to do. And I'd like you to get it in by like Friday, because also I did turn on lesson 9 that I'd like you to kind of do before next Tuesday. And then we'll be in lesson 10 along with everybody else, uh, all the other Java classes, which is kind of cool. Okay. So, yeah, let's go back to 8 here. All right. So in 8, we have this check the password program, and then there's a credit card validation. Okay. Um, it's all spelled out. This program really works. So it doesn't check whether or not your credit card is valid, like if you've overpaid your credit card or overcharged your credit card. It does tell you, however, is the credit card a valid number? In other words, you can put in a credit card number, and in fact, it'll say this is a valid MasterCard or whatever. So that's the one that you're going to have to do the rest of the week. Today in class, we're going to build this one. And the neat thing about using methods is we're going to build it a little piece at a time. Up until this point, we've been putting all of our code into the main. That will no longer be the case. We're going to break the program up into a minimum of inputs, processing, and outputs. And that's what a computer does. We input data, we process that data into information which humans can use for output. Okay. And that's the purpose of computing, really. Uh, so, um, so that would be, people sometimes tell me, well, why am I breaking this down? Well, because there's reasons. Another reason is it's easier to debug your program if you build it a step at a time. Okay. Because if it doesn't work, if I have a step or a method that doesn't work, I know right then it doesn't work, and I can fix it before I move on to the next step in the program. The other thing we can do is we can create menus that do certain things at certain times. Also, it's called reusability. It's a big thing. If I have an employer and I'm building a program that, let's say, calculates the tensile strength of the steel on the McCluggage Bridge up north of Peoria. And let's say 2 years from now, I get another job to do the Murray Baker Bridge. Well, I don't have to go and figure out what the code's going to be. Okay. I can just pull out that part of my program and plug it right into my new program. And it should run seamlessly because I've already designed that part of the program before. So that's so reusability, ease of debugging, um, the ability to make menus, and a few other things are why we create methods. Methods also, there's a naming, I don't want to call it a naming war, but depending on what book you read, some people will call like like our main, okay, like the main that we've been putting stuff in, our void main, that is a method. Okay, it's a special type of method that every program needs, but we do have a method. Okay, and that method does not return anything. Okay, and so methods that are voids don't return anything. Methods that return things are called functions. Okay, so methods that return things are functions, and in most cases they only return one thing. The other thing about methods is they do one thing and do it well. They do one thing and do it well. And again, that's the main thrust of this chapter and of what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do here, let's see, I'm going to check and see what the qualifications are for for this program, and then we're going to go ahead and start the program. You guys are seeing all this, right? Just so I'm checking here.
Yep.
All right. Oh gosh, I haven't had all my coffee either this morning. Running around. Did you guys do anything over break? I was kind of disappointed in the weather. I think it was Saturday, we got some decent weather. I'm on break. I want to do stuff outside and it's ice. I get an ice storm. So what's that? And then I get one day, the wind was like, I felt like I was in the Wizard of Oz or something. So I don't know about you guys if you were able to get out of town or anything, but here it was, I thought the weather was terrible. But I like to complain. So anyway, you guys are not talking to me today. I know it. All right, so we got a file here, and oops, don't want to do that. New project, our buddy the ant. And we're just going to call this about password validation or validator. I like that. Validator. It's the validator. All right. Our internal documentation. So it's the project is the Acme password validator. And this will be password validator.java. And then date today, we're already in 23 March 2021. Author is yourself. Okay. And purpose will be a program to validate that a password meets the following criteria. And one must be at least 8 characters in length. Okay, that doesn't mean you don't want to cut it off at 8. Okay, if they want to have a 9 or a 10 letter, that's fine, but it has to be at least 8. 2 must contain at least 1 alphabetic character. 3 must contain at least 1 digit. 4 must contain at least 1 special character. Okay. What else? I think that's it. I'm going to add something up here to validate a user inputted password. All right, so we got that. Now we do our cleanup here. Get our indentations set. You guys should be able to see now, I believe, the summer and fall schedules are out there. I don't think you can register yet, but I think you can start setting up your future classes, okay? All right, since this is user inputted, I know I'm going to need a scanner. So let's go there. And so we'll have a import of the scanner. Java.utility. Wait a second here. Scan. Come on. I don't know why it does that. There we go. That worked. What do you know? And then our divider. This is where our dividers are going to start coming into play, because we're going to have many of them. And this is my void main. And again, don't forget to ask questions as we go along here. All right, so I have that. And I'm going to start doing things like this. Well, let's do our scanner first, okay? Since I'm going to be using my scanner in different methods throughout the program, oops, I didn't mean to bring that back up there. I need to go right here, put in, let's do that. Let's go over to here. And so I'm going to declare the scope of my scanner. I want it to be able to be used everywhere. If I declare my scanner down here in the main, it can only be used in the main. So I'm going to declare it up here as a private static scanner. And, I want it to be here, private final scanner. No, private final static scanner called user con. Now again, because it's final, it's a constant. So I'm using uppercase letters there. And this will be as a new scanner of the system in type. So that is a scope. So this has class size scope. Okay. So anywhere in here, anywhere from here to here, my scanner is good now, versus from here to here. Okay. So let's take a look here. Let's go with a char again. Will be equal, in this case, we're going to make it a Q. Go over to there and do that. And then we'll put our do in here. And then it'll be while, again, is not equal to a Q. Okay. And let's go here. And we're going to stub in a switch. It's called stubbing in, because I'm going to code it before I even create the thing to change it. And so we got this, and we'll say case R, capital R. Okay. And then we'll get our brace. Oops, wrong brace. And in here, we'll say system.out.print line, and we'll type run is here. And then we need a break. And then we're going to have a case called test. So it'll be a capital T. And then we can system out print line. Test is here. And this thing is in the way, and I don't know why it's not going away. Okay, and then again, don't forget your brakes. And then we'll go down here. And we'll have a case for Q. Oops. And again, this is all about user friendliness. Okay. We're going to cover every possibility there is for the user. And I'm going to put a /n, and then 4, 5. Thank you for using Acme products for your company. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 /n. Okay, and then our break again. And your programs are going to start looking more professional also. So this will be a default here. That's if they don't do the other three. So here it's just going to say system.out.println. Said only R, T, and Q are valid inputs at this time. I think I'll put an extra line feed here. And I'll put an extra line feed at the end. We'll see how that looks once we run it. I don't really need a break here, but I'll put one in anyway, just because I get used to putting them in. Okay, so that's what happens. And you could actually run it right now because I set this to Q going in. It should pick it up and print out, thank you for using Acme products. Let's see if that's what happens. There you go. Thank you for using Acme products for your company. So I can tell this thing is working. My switch is working. Okay. At this time. Okay, but how am I going to? So right now, in reality, my loop has an initialization here. It has a process here, and it has a test. The only thing we're missing is an increment. So we're going to have to increment our loop by creating a menu is what I'm going to do. So up here inside the loop, I'm going to have this. I'm going to type again is assigned a value of display menu with 2 parentheses like that. So that says to me, it says there's a method somewhere called display menu. Go to it, get a value, and bring it back here and assign it to again. Now, since again is a char, my display menu function or method has to be a char. Okay, so we're going to go down here outside of my main, and we'll divide this off. And we're going to call it a char data type, and it's going to be show menu. And right here, we'll just do that and divide that off. So then down here, we're going to type private. Now I'm making them private instead of public because I don't want them to be accessed from another program. Okay, so I'm making them private. Okay, and because they're in the same class as my main, they have to be static. And then I will call it char, and it was show menu. And there was nothing I sent down here, so there's no arguments inside my parentheses there. All right. So now it's yelling at me because it needs to return something. So you'll see here, I'm missing the return statement here. So we got to fix that. Okay. So here we're going to say system.out.print. And then it'll be, I want a line feed. And then I'm going to go, oops, get rid of that. Something like that. Then I'll do that, and I'll go 1, 2, and 2, 3, and then I'll say Acme password validator, and I'll go 1, 2, and then and /n, enter, and then go back up to the top and just get this many. Control C, pop it in here. Control V like that. Then I can hit enter. And I want a /T, parentheses, capital R, run program. /N, enter, /T, test program. And /T, quit program. /N. And then we're just going to say make a selection of R, T, or Q. Like that. And no /N there. And then that. Okay. So now I have instantiated my scanner up here so I can use it down here. And it's going to be char user, or let's just make it choice, is equal to usercon dot next to upper, and then char at, and it's at 0. I want the first character of whatever they type in. And then I have to return it. So then I'm going to say return choice. So my method is not used. What did I call it up here? Oh, display menu. Okay, so I got to change that to display menu. Sorry about that. And I need to change it up here just so it reads right. There. So once again, this is how this works. Comes down here into the do loop. It says, oh, look, we need to go somewhere. So we go from here, goes down here, looks for display menu. Aha, here it is. runs this part of the program. The user is required to input something, okay? So they type something in, it comes down here, and then it returns it. It goes right back up to here, and then is assigned over here to again. Then it drops down into our switch, and whatever they selected, whatever one they do, that's what activity happens. So now if we run this, this ain't too far off. That's pretty good today. Okay, so if I type R, it says run is here. If I type T, it says test is here. If I type J, it says, wait a minute, only R, T, and Q are valid inputs. Okay. If I type an @ sign, wait a minute, only R2 and Q are required. If I type a Q, it says thank you, and it exits the program. So your program should do this now. Anybody that isn't doing this and needs help. We need to fix this. So I need, looks like 2 spaces maybe on the end of that. So let's try it. If I put 2 in here, let's run it and see how it comes up. There you go. It's all lined up. Looks nice. So I can close that. No questions. Everybody's good. Blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to confess that theirs isn't running. I don't know. Okay. So right here, I'm going to add my variables. And the first variable I'm going to add is Boolean. Is valid length. And we'll initialize that to false, I guess. Something like that. So in my R here, I'm going to get rid of this printing from the stub in. And I'm going to put is valid length is assigned. Let's see, what do I want to call it? How about set length? Oh, no. What am I doing? Just leave that up there for now. We need this, don't we? We need to know what the password is. So we're going to go here. String is equal to, or string password. And we'll make it equal to nothing, like that. So we better figure out what the password is first, huh? So we'll go password is equal to set password, like that. So we're going to go down here now. And it'll be something to this effect. And it'll be a string type. And set password. And it'll be a private static string set password. And then we need our prompt. Mm. You know, we can cut this down into, let's make this one letter. Oops. Make it nice and concise that way. And I'm going to change this up too. Okay, so if I do that, /n, and then I'm going to put my enter down here. There we go. Then we'll change what it says up above. Change this to your password must have. Something like that. So it's a great prompt. They should have no reason that they can't figure that out. And so in here we have our user con. Next. And then we need to return word. Excuse me. Okay. So again, this variable here is only good from here to here. It's not the same as password. Password is only good from where? From here to here. Okay. That's again, that's its scope. So we're going to check to see if this does what we want it to do by printing out here that it goes and gets a password. So it should print our password if we choose to do that. All right, so I press R to run. It says your password must be at least 8 characters, 1 letter, 1 digit, 1 special character, and your password. Here, if I type password, it prints password. So that's cool. That's what it's supposed to do. And then I type Q to quit, and it quits the program. So again, so far we've built this menu and it's done our one thing. What did we want to do? We wanted to get a password. And so we, in fact, go and get the password. So that's done. That's off our checklist. Okay. Now we can check whether or not it's 8 digits long. So we're going to say is valid length here is going to be, let's call it set length, or no, check length, sorry. Check length, but we have to send the password down, okay, because the password's only good from here to here, down here. So we have to send it down to our method. So down here, we're going to have one. Excuse me. And it's a Boolean. And it's check password. I don't usually put the argument in here on the divider because it really doesn't do anything. So we got private, static, Boolean, check password. And since we're sending something down, we have to have something to catch it. So it'll be a string, and we'll call it a word again, okay? Because it's a different, this word here is not the same as this word here. So I'm going to even change this a little bit so not to confuse people. I'm going to call it P word. Okay. So now we can say if P word dot length is equal to or greater than 8. What did I do there? Da, 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 da. What did I do wrong here? P word dot length. Anybody see what I got wrong here? If dot length is equal to or greater than 8. Got something goofy here. And I know it. Okay, so we'll do Boolean is valid. It's equal to false. So we got that. So if P word dot length, so we got P word, it's up here. Check password is here. If its length is greater than or equal to Doug. There we go. Knew it was something simple. Then is valid is equal to true. And that's all we need there. We come down here and we'll return is valid. So again, we called it from up above in the main. We came down here. We sent the password with it. Then we check whether or not it's greater than or equal to 8 characters long. If it is, we send back true. If it isn't, we send back false. So once that's done, we run back up to the top here. And what I thought it was check length. Oh, jeez. It is check length, not check password. Okay, so I was off a week and I forget everything. My brain hasn't engaged yet. Length. Much better, much better. So now this should light up. And then we can go here and do a plus and a space in there. This is just, again, this is just for checking as we go along. We're going to print out a nice statement if, in fact, things are kosher at the end. So we're going to run it. Okay, and if I hit run, I type in, enter my password. I'll just type password. And you see there it says password is true. Okay, so it means I set a password called password. It checked to see if it was 8 characters. I'll run it again and I'll type in Doug for the password. And you can see Doug is false. So it doesn't meet that criteria. And then I type Q to quit my program. And I'm done with that part. So now, something we learned a long time ago on page, I believe it's 130 of your book, or 132, there was something called, valid alpha, we'll call it. Then we'll say check letter. Once again, we'll send down the password. And we have to create our Boolean is valid. I better stick with. So we'll make this check alpha since that's what I called it in the first place. Okay, check alpha. That means we're going to another method. Okay, sending down password. I'm just going to copy this. Control C it. Come down here, just save myself a little bit of time. And then I'll go ahead and paste that in. It's going to scream at me that you don't know what you're doing, buddy. And we'll say check alpha here. And we'll change this to check alpha here. Oops. And then we'll come down here and we will blow this away. Excuse me. And we'll put in a for next loop. So this is index. Oops. Int index. No letter I's. 0. And then we can take index while it's less than p word length. Then we can say index plus plus. And that's a nice little for loop there. And then inside of this, we'll just say if how do I want a character dot is letter and of p word dot char at index. So if then is valid equals, there's a sign true. Okay, again, this is in your book. You were supposed to learn this back in, it was like lesson 2, I believe it was. There's a whole page of these for characters. Okay, there's a whole page of them. So now we're going to loop through the name, whatever it is, and check that there's at least one character that is a letter. Once we have this, we can go back up to our top here. So we check that, and then we're going to come over here, put another plus, a space, and another plus, and then we can put is valid alpha. And now if I run it, and of course if I type R here, and I type capital PASS word like that, hit enter, I get password true, true, okay? If I do enter my password here, and I put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for my password, it comes up true because I put a D on the end by mistake. Run it again. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. And you can see here, I now got a true for length, but I got a false for the alpha. And that's what it should do. Hit quit to get out. So now I've got my length. So now I need another one. And this one will be for, and again, notice how we're building this part by part. So we'll have is a valid digit. Come down here. Is valid digit. It's equal to check digit. Our password here. Okay. And we'll run down to the bottom. And I'm just going to, again, highlight this like that. Control C it. Come down. Go out to the edge here. Control V it in. And I'll just replace alpha with digit here. And this will switch here to, there is a function called is digit. And that's how simple that one was. Okay. Same as this one. This one's checking for a letter. This one's checking for a digit. Okay. Once I do that, I can come back up here to my output, my check output, and put my space in here. And then tack on is digit. And go ahead and run. And we run it. And if I put in password number 1, you can see my password is password 1. It's true that it's 8 characters or more long. It's true that it has an alphabetic character, and it's true that it has a digit. If I put in password again like this, I get, whoops, I meant to run it. I type in password like this, it says, yeah, the word is password, it's 8 characters long, it has an alpha, but it's false. It does not have a a digit in it. Okay. So it's working correctly, and I can quit it this time. And we'll run back over here. And so now this one's a little trickier. We need a Boolean, and it is valid special. Make that false. And then we'll come down here. Is valid special. And then we can check special. Sending down the password one more time. Run down to the bottom. We've already got this copied. I probably can just go like this, fix it over there, paste it in again. And we're going to check special this time. Check special here. And now we're going to say if, let's see, if it's not, so put an exclamation point in front of that, and it is letter or digit. So we're saying if it isn't a letter or a digit, then it has to be a special character. Okay. And again, this function here for characters is in your book. It was something you were supposed to have read a while back. You might not have noticed it at the time, but it is on like page 130 of your book. 132, 130, something like that. So again, this is checking for not a letter or a digit. Some people I've seen write this program and they'll put in that it has to be an exclamation point, an at sign, a dollar sign. That I'd rather do it this way. Then they can type any special character that they want. It's not limited to a list of special characters. Okay. So here we can go ahead and come on. So let's say plus here. Then bring it down here because I was running out of room. So this will say is, oh no, I need a space. Here we go. Plus space, plus is valid special. And go ahead now and run your program. And type an R from our menu. And my password this time is going to be password #1 $sign. Oops, what happened there? Oh, I made it an exclamation point. So it's showing, see the false there? It's saying we don't have a digit. So I'll run it again. And I'll say password #2 $sign. And now I have all trues. It has letters, it has a digit, it's 8 characters long, and it has a special character. Again, if I type Doug, oops, wrong one. If I type an R there and then type Doug, just, you can see here I got Doug. It's not 8 characters. It does have an alpha, but it doesn't have a digit and it doesn't have a special character. So it appears to be working really well, actually. All right, so that meets the criteria that we set up here for a password. Now, instead of having this here printing out, we need something that looks a little bit nicer. So we're going to go here And this is going to be a void. So all I'm going to say here is, let's call it display results. And I'm going to send down the password. I'm going to send down is valid length. I'm going to send down is valid alpha. I'm going to send is valid digit. I'm going to send down is valid special. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and send those. This we can either delete or just rem it out because we only used it for checking as we went along. So now we're going to go down to the bottom here. And I'm going to just so I'm consistent here, I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. And I'm going to basically blow it all away though. So this will say void display results. That's what I called it, I think. This will be a void. Okay, and so I have the P word here. I need a Boolean, oops. I need a, well, we can get rid of all this here. There we go. And so I need P word. I need is, let's see, Boolean length. We'll make it as long. Boolean is letter. Boolean is num. Boolean. See, we got a letter, number, digit, long. Is do I need anything else? I don't think so. Okay. There we go. So then what do we want it to look like? So we're going to say here, we'll say system out print F, and then say /n, and then maybe divide this, something like that, /n, and then we'll say /t password, and that'll be a string, /n, and we'll say a /t length is, let's see, what do we want to do here? I know, valid length. That'll be a %b /n. Then we'll have a /t. Valid letter, %b /n. Then we'll put our digit, /valid digit, %b and then slash T. We'll have valid special. Slash N. Okay. And then, so then that's that. So then we have to put everything in here, comma, and P word is long, is letter, is num, is special. Okay, and then hit enter, enter. Then we'll put system.out.print line. Whoops, no, we won't. We'll say if P word, whoops, no, if is long, and is letter, and is num, and is special, then we'll say .out.printf. Then we'll say percent %s is a valid password. Slash n. And then this will be P word here. Okay. Then else we'll have same thing, except it says an invalid. I'm going to enhance this too, so that's a C. This goes in here as a V. And this will be invalid. And this one will say valid. So that looks pretty good. Move this so it lines up. All right. So that's what we're looking at. And I'm hoping here that the if here is going to interpret that as being true, 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 true. Okay. If any of them are false. So I don't have to, I don't believe, put equals true, equals true, equals true. But let's check it out and see what happens. Okay, so we run it. We type our password as password $2. And here's my output here. It says password 2. It's valid, 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 valid. And password 2 is a valid password. Okay. I might want to move that over. I don't know. That don't look too bad. If I make it an R and I just type in pass, and it says the password is pass, doesn't meet the length requirement, doesn't meet the digit requirement, it doesn't meet the special requirement. So pass is an invalid password. Try it one more time. And I'll put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pound sign. And you can see here my password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pound. So it's true, the length it meets. There's no letter. It does have digits and it does have a special. So it's invalid. Okay. And then I'll quit the program. So it appears to be working really well. The only last thing I'm going to do here is make it a little more programmer friendly by putting in something down here to just divide off the bottom, saying that there is no code follows this line. And then I'm going to save it and put it in my portfolio. So once again, you can see how we broke it into parts. We checked and debugged every part as we put it together. So it went together. It seemed very seamless. Okay. Now for testing purposes, we're going to go over here and we're going to say that we're going to test. We'll go ahead and I have to put those escape characters in there so I can put parentheses or a single quote around password 2 here. Okay. So that gives me an escape character there. And then here, instead of calling get password, we'll just go ahead and do password will be assigned the word password number 2, like that. And then we can just paste the rest of this. So we're just going to take all this except the set password, Control C it, and then come down here and paste it in here. We don't need this again. So we got that. Move this back over. And now we should be able to run this and use our testing one. So if I type the letter T, and you can see here it says test process by using password, and password 2 is valid, a valid password. I could use a space in here too, though. So I'm going to come back. Oops, I left that running. So right here, where is it? Test process, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to put a slash here. Slash M like that. Run it one final time. And now if I hit T for test, there we go. Test process by using the password, da, da, da. And it passes, okay? And then I hit Q to quit. And voila. So a little bigger programs are getting bigger, right? Almost 200 lines. But a nice looking, user-friendly program for you to gain knowledge from. Again, if you only have one other program to do this week, so you could test yourself. Could you rewrite this program and make it work? All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. Does anybody have a question before I stop sharing?
Can I see the the display results page again?
Yes, sir. Let's see what we got. There you go. You got it?
Yep.
All right. So now I'm going to, anybody else? Okay, I'm stopping sharing. I'm stopping recording.